Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a video where I show off the FarmCon footage of the map. There's also a couple things I want to note as we're getting in here. So up on your screen now, what you're seeing is just kind of the first shot from the clip. One thing I want to notice, far right hand side in that shed with the trailers in it, you will see an MB track or some sort of tractor. Okay, pay attention to that, because once we get down there into the yard, you're going to see it's actually just a New Holland, which that one is obviously not the same tractor as a New Holland. That one is a tractor pulled in. The New Holland is facing outwards, so we know it's a different tractor. So I'm just going to comment through this, and we're just going to play it. So I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to start. 3, 2, 1, boom, we're going. Okay, so we're in a house. Here we go. There was a newspaper there, a foosball table, so we get to see the interior. There is a actual TV working in the background there, which is kind of nifty. I didn't see that the first time I watched this. This is my third time watching this video as I'm kind of commentating. A piano there. It looks like there's some other stuff around the house. Nice looking house. And there you can see the New Holland, not the tractor we saw. Completely different color. So, and you also probably saw there's Walter right there. The AgroStar is nothing exciting. We're here to focus on the map, so this isn't about the equipment. But we're going to drive past the little tuk-tuk over there with the kind of the flatbed on it, which we've already seen that. So, kind of a new kind of configuration type thing or new vehicle or something like that. But yeah. Pretty nifty. And now, say what you will about Giants, they do a fabulous job with maps, and this map is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, you can see the lighting looks great. It just looks amazing. Honestly, it really does. And I mean, I'm honest on the channel, so if there's something that I don't like that Giants has done with a map or something like that, I mention it. So there's a person up on that balcony. I'm curious, and there's a couple people out there. I'm curious if we're gonna be able to go into that or not. But that's the kind of like one of the coffee productions we think right there, because it's got coffee beans on it. So I think that's going to be the roaster right there is what I think that's going to end up being. We're driving up the hill here. Beautiful. There's also a couple of strange time lapses, but we'll talk about those when we get to them in the video. All right, looking both ways good. I love the dirt on the roads too. It looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah, the dirt on there is just it's a great feature. Fuel point there, you can see some of the AI traffics that go around, so you got that guy right there, which is very, very unique kind of South American truck. Fuel point right there, and there's people inside, so I'm guessing we can go inside of buildings and things like that. I'm hoping there'll be more buildings we can go into, because normally on maps you can't go into a lot of buildings. Modded maps a little bit more so, but usually on maps from Giants we can't go into a lot of things, so I'm hoping to get some more of that. We take a look at the coffee here. I talk about coffee and all those different features and things like that in a different video. And some of the new cool things, which there are some very cool things coming with the coffee, so just be aware of that. Stay tuned for those videos. But yeah, and some cool new equipment and things like that that I'll also put in the other video. But yeah, okay, we're driving up the hill here. AgroStar is doing good. I love these kind of like dirt berms and things like that we see, like the one to the left of the tractor there. Some interesting elevation changes and things like that, which I like that. And it's kind of a more redder soil, but it's not like a really dark red or anything like that, so I really love the soil color. And then here, we've seen this production here before. This is one of the coffee productions. This one, I believe, is actually like a facility to clean the coffee beans, since the other one's to roast them. So I think that's what's actually going to happen there, is going to be sorting out like some of the leaves and junk. Little break there, and then here in the back, I was wondering what this stuff is. I guessed all sorts of things that it might be. On the left-hand side there as well, I think that's like a power plant of some kind, because it goes over the water, and yeah, it's got a cell point there, so I don't know what that's going to take. Or some sort of factory it might be of some kind. But yeah, so we have these buckets in the back. I think these are like cleaning supplies or something like that, and I'll show you why I think that. Or maybe it's paint. It could be paint or cleaning supplies or something like that, or I don't know. Paint would be a good guess. And you'll see why in a second. Because of where we're going, but yeah, and okay, FarmCon hasn't happened either. That'll be tomorrow. These videos will come out as the presentations come out tomorrow, which will be great. All right, roadway there. Yep, all good. Can't remember, do we go up the hill here? Yep, we sure do. So we're gonna go up the hill, yeah, because we're gonna go up to the kind of like chapel church looking thing that's on the map. We've seen screenshots of it before. So that's kind of where we're heading right now, which is great. All right, heading up there. Some of the cool AI traffic you see down there is like a RV bus type thing, a little tanker truck. There's some really cool stuff. Good view above the map there as well. Got a little ways more to go until we get to the top here. All right, loop around again. But yeah, map looks just absolutely beautiful. It really does. There's another thing we'll see in the back of the John Deere Gator here in a little bit. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a coffee product of some kind, but I don't know exactly what it is, to be honest. All right, going up the hill here. There we go. We're gonna come around this bend here, and then that's the kind of the chapel church thing which we've seen in the past, and then we're gonna have a kind of a weird time lapse here, which is gonna go on for about 97 days. It feels like. I'm just gonna let it all play though, because we're here. So I'm gonna let it all play. I'm not gonna skip any of it. If you wanna skip ahead, I'll let you know what's happening, because I didn't know what was happening the first time I watched it, but now I know. So there's a little paintbrush icon there. That's why I think this is paint or cleaning supplies. And if you look at the building, it looks a little messy. Like below the windows, you see some dirt and grime. There, they undid that. I don't know if it's sold or not. It disappeared. I'm assuming it sells. And I don't know if these buildings have any other function than this. There's this building and at least another one we see here. There's people overlooking the town. Great view from up here, and you see that kind of power plant looking thing in the background, which has got to be some sort of production of some kind. And I think that's a vehicle shop down there as well. Okay, they're driving away, but we're going to jump into the time lapse now here in a second. And here we go. There we go. So it's dirty, filthy. Okay, we put that paint or whatever in. Look, it's getting cleaned up. Okay, it's clean. Perfect. Nice. Looks beautiful. And now this time lapse is to show you it getting dirty. So you just watch it slowly get dirty. I probably won't say a lot for this part because there's not really a point. You guys know what's going on. You guys can see things too, I hope. Or at least if you hear, I don't really know how to narrate the fact that it's getting dirty, but I might mention a couple things here and there. But you'll see it does take a while, which I mean, realistically, yeah, it would take a couple years, at least 2 or 3 years in real life before you need to, like, you know, have this kind of stuff happen. So, yeah. Not seeing really anything yet. You see a little bit of grime starting to form under the windows. The next one is a little bit more obvious as well. The next building they do this kind of similar time lapse for, so we'll be able to take a look at that. And here we go. A little bit more grime there. Again, it takes a while. You can definitely see some grime forming, that's for sure. And I don't know if the paint's going to be like a production. I doubt it. Maybe, I'm assuming you just buy it. I'm assuming you just buy it at like the warehouse or something, or whatever the equivalent is on this map. So that's what I assume. Could be wrong. And you can see now there's quite a bit of grime. It's getting really dirty, especially up in the towers. And they're slowing it down now. There you go. Look at that. Very dirty. Terrible. Needs more paint or something, so you can deliver more paint there. Next building, this one looks atrocious, especially the walls. And then they put paint in there or whatever. Paint or cleaning or whatever it is. I'm assuming it's paint. Everything gets nice and pretty after a little bit. And now it's going to slowly get worse again. So again, if you want to skip this, I get the point. Skip ahead a couple minutes in the video. Totally fine. Just do what you got to do. But if you're like, I get the point. But I just want to leave it all in only because some of you might just want to watch through it. So, and that's okay. And you can see this one's a little bit more obvious in terms of getting the damage and things like that. And you'll also have noticed, which I forgot to mention, that little paint icon where you deliver it, it went away after it was in good shape. So if it's in perfect condition, that trigger might go away. I didn't notice that with the church, though, which is kind of interesting. But this one I did notice for this big kind of house estate thing. I noticed the trigger went away after it got fully, you know, painted and put back together and looking good. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll let her run. And it does look like a paintbrush. You get a pretty good view of that icon. And I'm hoping you can go inside these buildings too. And maybe the insides degrade as well. That might be a bit too advanced for Giants, but we'll see. But I do like the concept of kind of like restorative maintenance. I wish it would work on every building, like you had your shed on your farm, and after, 5-10 years, it looks like absolute garbage, and you got to buy some paint at the store and you get it, repainted. I think that's a great feature, but I don't think that's going to happen.
So let's feedback. That's all. Growing direct
That makes sense. I'm talking to Yos off to the side. You couldn't hear him. He was talking about feedback. Here's where so we get some really good views of the water in the map. It's honestly a fabulous map. The water looks great. Love it. Giants knows how to do that sort of stuff. They're really good at it, to be honest. Whether you hate them or not, or whatever your opinion is, it doesn't matter. But they are really good at that. Okay. We do have these things in the back of this Gator. Now, different obviously than the paint. I don't know what they are. I honestly have not a clue. I think it's some sort of coffee product. And if you look really closely, it kind of looks like it's probably some sort of coffee product. But again, not 100% sure. We are going to see a market in a second, kind of like, if you think of like the farmer's market and stuff, like that feature where you deliver stuff that fills out the stalls and things like that. We do see that on this map, so it looks like there's a market. It's going to be, we're going to go down this street, and then we're going to see it on the right-hand side here in a minute, which is pretty cool, since there'll be a little market in town for you to kind of sell stuff off. We get a real good view of those pallets there at that brief moment where it kind of zooms in on the camera, and I do think it's some sort of coffee product. But there's the market, driving past it there, and you can see some things are out. So I'm assuming it'll fill out more if you deliver more products to it. And now you might say, well, we'll see what these things are when we get them delivered, wherever we're taking them, because we delivered the paint or whatever that was, and that kind of helped solve that mystery. But we have no idea. They're going to cut it off before we get anything on that. There we get a really quick look at the bus or whatever that is, a little bus type thing driving around the map, some of the AI traffic. And here's where it's about to cut in a second, where we're not going to see where they deliver this or what these are for, which is kind of interesting. They're just kind of teasing something on there. At FarmCon, they may very well say during the presentation what it is. I just have access to the video footage. I don't have access to like the scripts or anything for the presentations. And there you go, it's empty. They delivered it somewhere. Didn't say where they delivered it. Now we're driving. It's very dark through here, but we're going to see something very cool in a second. If they actually drive there. There we go. All right, looking good here. I put a little cut in there just so we get a little closer before this. There's a little bit of dead time there. Okay. So there's some stuff about alpacas there, some coffee stuff. I can't really see what was in the background there a whole lot. And then over here, it kind of talks about some of the plants and things. So, and I did look to see if they would confirm any crops in here. I think if they are confirming any crops in this building, I think it's on the other side. And I don't think we're getting shown that. But you see some of the different trees. And some of these might be new trees to the game. I'm just not familiar with all the tree types that we have now. But yeah. And I don't know if this is like an area where collectibles are going to show up. If you're finding like, I don't know, artifacts and things around the map and they show up here, it's like kind of like a museum. We've seen stuff like that before, like with Silver Run Forest, I think the first one that I'm aware of that did that. There might be some other ones in the past, but Silver Run Forest had that same feature where as you found the collectibles, they showed up in a museum somewhere, so you got that going for you. Yeah, kind of a nifty building. And there's not a lot left of this video. This is only a 13-minute clip, so there's not a whole lot left. We're just about done here. Yeah, and then it fades out, and yeah, that's everything. So there you go. That's what I got for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.